Hello, people. Today, let us talk about diversity. Now, as I am going to speak about diversity, I want you to know that I love diversity in whichever field of life it is. Now, what does diversity mean? Diversity means variety, changes. Well, not exactly changes, but it means having a lot of different things together at one place, or it might be a matter of choice that, um, you know, for example, I can tell you that there are some people who like to have tea. Now, if you pick just one person out of them and ask, what kind of tea do you like? They might tell you that, oh, I cannot tell you in particular. For example, I am that person, but I can tell you that I like different kinds of tea. Okay. And I can add to that, I like diversity. Okay. So that was a bit funny. To give you a bit more example, somebody can ask me, Shohini, what kind of food do you like? What is your favorite cuisine? I will instantly tell anyone out there that the South Indian cuisine is my favorite cuisine. I was in Bangalore for few years of my life and I love the South Indian food. I also love Bengali food, but South Indian food is something that I love. And but then again, I love every kind of food. So I like diversity. I cannot stick to just one kind of food for a very long time. So if we are lucky, life gives us many chances to experience diversity. Now, how do we understand that whether we are in a diverse situation or not? Now, before you check with yourself that whether you are ready or you are enjoying the diverseness that life gives you, you must check with yourself whether you are stuck in life or not. If you are stuck in life, and just like I've mentioned in one of my videos, that it is not okay to think about your work and say that, oh my God, I'm stuck with my work. Okay, that is a very bad habit. Work is an amazing thing. Okay, it is something that takes away all the bad things from your mind. It lets you be, it lets you help your parents, it lets you help your society, help yourself, your desires, your choices, etc. And most importantly, work lets you be a very good human being. So coming back to the topic at hand, when I say diversity, I mean that having diversity in choices is important. But I have had some friends in my life. I am not in contact with them. But yes, I remember some conversations I have had with these friends. And they mention that, I want diversity. Or I want to do something else. And I want to leave my job. So, in this world, when we say that I want to leave my job, and I want to do something else, we are probably looking at a very a very made up, a well made up lie. Okay, because first of all, 24 hours is a lot of time if we can manage it. If we are that disciplined, that focused, and that honest with ourselves. At the same time, if we want to do things, we do things anyways. So I want to tell you everything that I have on my mind about diversity, but please don't get deviated, please don't get misled, and think that, diversity means that you have to leave your work and do something else. okay, because you like diversity. Now, what is it that keeps us, like, whatever you are seeking outside, whatever you want to happen from the outside, some person who would show you the way, some person who would cook that thing for you, some person that would tell you those good things, be that wise voice in your head. Ask yourself, what is it that is stopping you? It might be that you lack some diversity in your life. Now, when you ask yourself for some advice, you know, yourself will always give you a lot of choices because that is how the world is. In this, we live in an open world, to be honest. We live in a very uh, productive, practical, and a rather friendly, happy world. I can tell you that these days we have a lot more opportunities and spaces and choices than we had previously. Now, when you let yourself, like I mentioned, choices and changes come from inside first. Okay, your thinking, your way of uh, speaking to yourself should be the first thing you should focus upon. That is number one. And let yourself be diverse, first of all. It is okay if you are a very morning person. If you wake up at 4 a.m., I have seen that some people wake up at 3 a.m., 2:30 a.m. But it is also okay at times to wake up at 11 a.m. or even to sleep the entire day. Okay. But then what lets us be diverse? When we mean that we want to be a diverse person, we want to have a lot of things to do with, we want to be somebody who is interesting, intelligent, intellectual, and also a person that we can keep in touch with because they know a lot of things, they do a lot of things. Why? Because those people are actually very disciplined. Please understand that those people are very disciplined. Yes, we can sleep till late hours, but when we have time to ourselves, we can be diverse at work. We can be productive and diverse when we can be more. Okay, be more. That is the quote. So, when we allow ourselves to have a bit of discipline, time, etc., etc., we let ourselves learn a lot of things. Okay, for example, you might wake up and think that, okay, my life lacks some changes, some diversity, some choices that I can make use of. So, how about I plant something? I adopt a plant. Like, I once used to advise a lot of people, how about you adopt a plant? You know, and you might wake up thinking that, okay, till now I have never done gardening, but from now I can start doing that. Okay, so adding a new thing to your life. Then the next day, when you are feeling like, life is getting boring, life is getting so mundane, and eventually, all these bad things get jammed up inside your life, in your conversations, they started to show up even in your expression. So what you can do is that you can take some time and add another hobby, another work to your daily life. It might be a small work, it might just be that you have developed the habit of staring at the wall and speaking to yourself, and that is absolutely fine. It is just something that is making you diverse. You can, in your own pace, you know think that, okay, from now on I will think. So by now, you have added three more things to your daily life. For example, you were doing your usual work, maybe taking care of something, your job, yourself. Maybe you are just, taking care of a household. whatever it is. But now you're a more diverse person. You also take care of plants. You also, like, you are this self talker, you are a wise thinker. And the third thing is that you are thinking about something interesting, that is a work. So then, you know let us focus on what is it to live in a diverse space. So, you know I have lived in a very diverse community from a very young age of my life. When I was in school, I was friends with a lot of uh, people who were not Bengali. They had extremely different culture. They had extremely different way of speaking. In fact, they had different languages. That is where from I learned Hindi at a very young age. Even though I was in a small town in West Bengal. Okay, and there was no other way, because I would never watch that amount of TV or listen to that amount of Hindi Bollywood songs, even though that is a shortcoming on my part. Now I regret it. I should have watched a lot of more movies, like marked up those lyrics, etc. It is fun, trust me. So coming back to the topic, i I took up, I during my boards exam from class 8, I think, our school had a uh, deviation, like we could choose which stream we want to carry on our life in. So I chose to, like, I had this calculation and a conversation with my parents, and I told them that, arts is something that I can do, because I love to read a lot of books. And I can just read and I can do with the humanities. But then something that I can, and science was completely out of my thing. I was not that interested in science back then. But now, like, at the time when I had to choose, I told my parents that I want to choose commerce. Why? Because it is directly linked to business, because it is directly linked to, how the world works, finance, bank, etc., etc. Now, I don't know what it is, but the people who are not Bengali in that small town, the Gujarati people, the Marwari people, and the Parsi people, the Jain people. We had a lot of Jain, Parsi, Gujaratis, Marwaris, Rajasthanis in our school in that area. And they were, they would speak in Hindi, I would speak to them in Hindi. They would bring different food. They had different worshipping rituals. They had different ways of communicating to their parents. They had a very different festivals. So that became my life. Like, I was a Bengali. For me, Durga Puja, Saraswati Puja, Kali Puja was a norm. But for them, Dandiya, then Holi, and that thing that they do before Holi, the worshipping the fire, the Holika Puja, I think. And there are many other festivities that they had, which we didn't have. Okay, even going to the iftar parties for Eid. So these were a lot of things that brightened up my life back then. Okay, for example, I remember that my mother would get in. Even this was the same case with my mother. Why? Because she is a beautician, and she is also a dermatologist. And like, she is this person that a lot of people from the community would reach out to. And these aunties and these other people, they would tell her that, like, this is the problem I have with my skin. This is the problem I have with something. What do I do? And she had to communicate with a lot of people out there, okay, like Hindi speaking people, um, Marwari speaking people, Gujarati speaking people. There were aunties, I remember, who could hardly speak proper Bengali. And, like, my mother had to communicate to her anyway. So, what happened is that, from time to time, even my mother would get uh, asked for these, like she would get invited for these parties, for these things that that she had friends from. Okay, so going to an iftar party, going to a dandiya party, going to the Parsi New Year was a norm. Now, as I moved out of that hometown and I came to Calcutta, I noticed that I speak Bengali with an accent, even though I am in West Bengal. And everybody would notice that where have you been to? Like some of my people, some of my seniors and my relatives would ask, sometimes even my parents, where have you been to? Why are you speaking Bengali in this way? Now, what is it that makes me lean towards diversity so much? First of all, you get to observe different kinds of people. You get to know your world. You get to know your country from the eyes of the people, from just by listening and looking at people, what they are doing, what will they do after the the school hours are done. So this is how I grew up. And then, like while I was studying in my college, I had a lot of other things that I had taken up. For example, learning foreign languages. And then also, I remember that I badly wanted to take up serious levels of music lessons. And my parents advised me that, like right now, you should be focused on your studies, nothing else. So, like while I would study English literature during my college, I had this like I had always this feeling that studying English literature means just studying English literature. But as I took took that up for my college major, I noticed that these things, like literature course has a lot of literature, like Indian English literature, African English literature, American English literature, Gothic literature. I mean, literature after literature, and different kinds of it, not just Shakespeare or Charles Dickens or anything. Then, when I would go to my foreign language classes, I would notice that there are these many languages that people know. Like Arabian, French, Spanish, English, Bengali, Tamil, Urdu, Russian, German, what not. And I had noticed that there are many people from around the corners of the world. They would come and educate themselves. Now, where I would take the language classes is also uh, what can you say? It is also cultural space. It is called Ramakrishna Mission School of Languages and Culture. It is in Calcutta, and I believe it has its branches in other parts of the country as well. So, like the whole campus is divided into two parts. One part teaches languages and culture, and the other part teaches just culture. For example, it teaches you the many ancient teachings of Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Islam, Christianity, and people from different religious spaces, they come there to give lectures on their beliefs, etc. But yeah, I must mention that uh, it is mostly a Hindu organization. But yes, it has a lot of diversity, which I experienced. And sometimes I would visit those lectures with my friends, and I would go through the teachings of Vivekananda. I would go through the teachings of Buddha. I would go through the teachings of Ramakrishna, Ma Sharoda, and I would relive my childhood memories that these were the very beautiful teachings that I had always learned from my grandmother. Now, this was my time back, at that time in college when I had a huge pressure on my head that, what is it that I'm going to do uh, with an English literature certificate? What comes after I have learned all the foreign languages? What can I do? What more can I do? Okay, but at the same time, irrespective of everything else, I would take out some time and I would go to these lectures. I would enjoy the campus. I would look at these little books that they have, the library that they had. But although I didn't have enough time to spend there. Now, when I moved out of West Bengal, I went to Bangalore. Like, if anybody who has been to Bangalore, they tell me that, Bangalore is a melting pot of culture. Like a lot of people from various walks of life come to Bangalore and they uh, enjoy diverse food, diverse festivities, diverse people, etc. So, as a person who has always been habituated with different language, I was introduced to a lot of language out there. I was introduced to, you know, uh, many different kind of food. It is the place where from I developed the habit of eating a lot of South Indian food. Before that, like how there having South Indian food is a norm. Here back in West Bengal, having South Indian food is a delicacy. It's like a festive food. But then again, I used to think that, like, I mean, it is a very stupid thing to tell, but it happened to me. When I went there, I thought that, like, South Indian people, and they speak the South Indian language. But then I realized that they speak a lot of language. There are many other languages. Like I can't even tell you how many there might be. There is Kannada, there is Tamil, etc., etc. And of course, there are many more indigenous people who speak different languages with different accents. Okay, so about diversity, you know, there is first of all a very bad idea that people who are not exactly like us are the bad people. Okay, first of all, we must understand this one thing, that people who are a bit different, even in their approach towards ourselves, might just be. I mean, I'm talking about an instance, let's say a person is being very hurtful towards you. You must understand, first of all, that the person might be going through something, or something might have made them be that way, and that has developed into such a complex thinking that that the person is misusing their power of existence into doing something wrong to you. So should we cancel the person out? I think we should rather stop the person right there, not cancel. When we cancel a person out, we we create a hole in the entire cycle of the world. Okay, they might be capable of putting something great towards our life, even by staying distant from us. But sometimes I must say it is very important to actually cut out on people, but in the most possible workable way. Just like you wouldn't want somebody to be hurtful towards you, you wouldn't, like, somebody else would also not want to be you to be hurtful towards them. But then it is important to understand, you know that not always workable relationships are possible either. So in this case, having diversity in your approach towards your relationships, your way of communication is also important. Now, why and how is it important? You might be like, for a very long phase in my life, I had the idea that it is important to be very positive, to be polite, to be kind, to be empathetic, to be out there for everyone. But then I slowly started to notice that this is the way I am losing out on myself. I am losing out of time. I am losing out of the capability to understand what I need for myself. First. Second, even though I would be out there helping a lot of people, I would feel that I would feel it like a pang, and like a sort of a sadness that I wish I could cut out on such lengthy communications, such uh, you know uh, huge amount of help, charity, empathy, and speak more to my parents, because I was out of my hometown, and I wish I could do some more productive work. It happened to me. I'm sure it has happened to a lot of you. I mean, once I came across this quote where a person said that when you invest a lot of time on somebody else, despite your sense of reasoning and despite the sense of reasoning of those who love you and cherish you for who you are, then you turn them into a kind of thief. I think it is Oprah Winfrey who said this, that you turn your friends, relatives, acquaintances, colleagues into thieves when you let them occupy a huge amount of your time. Okay, now how to stop that from happening? Now, before anything else, I must say that this is something that makes us feel that we are in a very good kind of friendship towards the beginning. But at the end, these are the friendships that make confusion and bad situations happen. And honestly speaking, I will not even call this as a friendship. This is not a friendship. A friendship is something that lets you go ahead in life. It's like a vehicle. It is something that, like it is as if you want some fresh air, and the friend gets to open the window for you, not to drag you out of your space and take you in their space and let you get suffocated for no reason at all. So how to manage, how to negotiate, how to cut out once you have noticed that you have not been diverse enough with your way of communication. First of all, it is important for us to please understand that being diverse with the way you communicate to your friends is very important. First of all, why is it important? It Let's say in day one, you are communicating with your friend day one, you are very much together, you have spent hours together, you have shared all the details of life, but day two you might not be able to spend that amount of time because you have work. And sometimes it happens even with yourself. You are capable of sleeping for 12 hours one day, suddenly the next day you are not capable of even having rest for 4 hours straight. So just tell it to yourself that if you cannot spend the similar amount of time with yourself, why is it wrong to be a little on and off with your friends? Okay, I have seen people who have ruined their lives, ruined their power of thinking, ruined their boundaries. Why? Because they just can't say that I am not available. Now, the fact that, you know, the thing is, even I have had difficulty in doing this. Also, I must mention that I am not available is not equal to saying no. That no, there is this trend out there, just say no. You cannot always say no. Saying no is not an answer. There are some people who are um, very, you know, ambitious about having you around, making you do their things, uh, putting their share of, uh, you know, putting their share of load on your shoulders. Now, how do you understand whether you should be a little bit empathetic. But that is a video that I will do next. Now let me be a little diverse. When it becomes that hurtful and that emotional to say no and to move out and get cooped up and isolated, then it is also important to be a little diverse, okay, in your answers, in your approach towards those people. But how can you achieve that? So once you have started to maintain this cycle, that like, okay, Monday I have spent quite a lot of time with this friend. I have spoken to her or him for, let's say, at least 15 minutes. Now, 15 minutes is sometimes it is a huge thing. Okay. In today's world, 15 minutes is a huge thing. It is. So I've spoken to this friend of mine for 15 minutes. Tomorrow, I might be able to speak to the friend just to say that, hello, I hope you're fine, your family is fine, and I'm extremely busy. Okay, can I give you a call back after uh, some hours? And you might not be able to give them a call back, and it is fine. I hope that you're lucky enough to have good friends in life. But if you don't have, then these are the very strict rules that you must follow. Now, what I can tell you is that not always you will have great friends or good friends. You will have friends who are okay, who are just like, there. You can share a cup of coffee with them. Maybe you can share a meal with them. Maybe they will even help you with something. But they do not equate to the other friends that you have. Now, I know this for a fact that the simpler your life is, the better. Why? Because you get to focus. But sometimes life gets out of hand. Okay, so life itself is diverse. Life is not same all the time. Life keeps on changing. Our people are something that we should have our anchors on. We should hold on to people. But if you want to continue a relationship with someone, if you want to continue that amount of fun gossip with someone, then you must stop yourself and tell that, do I want to carry on friendship? Then I should not let myself or the other person be deviated from being disciplined and productive. And let's say Monday you spoke to that person, Tuesday you did not, and you had this on and on overthinking that, oh God, what will my friend think? It's okay. Even I am an overthinker, and I have been there. Let's say Tuesday, Thursday goes. Friday, you tell yourself that it's okay. I could not speak to the friend today. Okay, I feel guilty and apologetic. It is okay. Call the friend and have a good chat with that person. But that cannot be feasible all the time. Why? Because money, because to-do list, because of maybe our beliefs have changed, because we are not in that a happy and like open space. Maybe we have a lot to think. Maybe we are that occupied in our head. Things do happen. Now, how to be a little more diverse with your own space? First of all, be diverse with the kind of clothes you wear. Of course, be modest. Also, be diverse, be colorful in your own way, you know. But then, sometimes, please understand that if your idea of success, your idea of productivity, your idea of well being takes over diversity in your own space, in all these ideas that, oh God, how am I going to help out this friend, help out these people? Then you should stop yourself right there and ask yourself that, do I really need to be that, engaged in so many things out there? because so many things will soon or later, I mean, sooner than you can imagine, will multiply into so many more things. And as time goes on, things will become more and more and more. It will go on. It's a never ending cycle. Like I mentioned, that today you might think that, oh God, I could not go to that cafe. Tomorrow, three more cafes will open within that area, you know. But your sense of well being, your list of work might just increase. Okay. Today you can be like, oh God, I did not have, I could not speak to this person. Oh God, she had called me. I could not speak. But just think about it this way. Today you could not speak. Tomorrow you will be able to speak in a better, funnier, in a more cheerful way. But what to do when your friend doesn't understand that you have other things to do? In a more funny and cruel and cunning way, I would tell it is best to let that friend have other friends. Like, just engage her with more friends, and like, let her have an echo chamber where whatever the person will say will be repeated back to her. Probably that is what she wants from you. Okay. So, because I'm talking about diversity, I'm going to be diverse in my choices. You can do this. You can be like, okay, this friend needs a lot of people to speak. Just cold call other people. You know, let this person have a lot of friends. Then have more. Like, hide yourself. Have more places to hide. Lie to that friend. It's okay to lie. Tell that like you had lost your phone for a very long time. Then again, tell that you kept on having nightmares, and that is why you were sad, and you were like hiding under behind the curtains, and you were crying. You were like singing sad songs, writing sad songs, do these funny things just to kind of scare them away. So now I'm going to talk about how to let go of these people that you are scared of. First of all, if you are person who gets scared just like me, then first of all you can hide. You can like literally hide like behind the curtains. When these people come to your house, hide behind the curtains. If you are at your workspace, hide under your work desk, hide behind your computer, go away. You can speak a completely different language as if you have personality disorder. Speak a completely different language. If like, if the person knows a different language than you, speak a different language. They will not be able to understand what you are telling, and probably they will be scared or bored or whatever. Then you can just tell them that there is something behind you and scare them away. You can give them fake news that I got a call from your mother, and I heard that there is a earthquake near your home. That is also doable. Throw water on them. That is so cruel. Or you can just tell them that like, just like in that book called the Orient Express, I think, or it might be the ABC Murder. I think it was the Orient Express, where Hercule Poirot, I can't pronounce it properly. I mean, the detective Hercule Poirot, probably. There is this person, the passenger at the train, I think. The passenger tells the detective that, um will you help me? Like, he puts across certain issues in front of the detective, and he asks them, can you help me? And the detective tells, no. Why? Because I don't like your face. Like, use these things and tell them, I don't like your face, and it's okay. So there are many ways to be diverse, even in your ways to just shoo a person off. And you must do that. Now, I will tell you how to be more diverse in the way you speak in your very close circle, even to your parents. You know, like you can tell them that just wake up and invent new names for your parents. Like how you would use a pet name for your parents and use those names and speak to them by addressing those names. Then you can like take up a new to-do list, take up something in your to-do list and just make up something about that and tell it to them. Now, as I try to make this funnier, I want to put it across that it is very important to be diverse with your parents, especially with your parents. Why? Why is it important to be able to be diverse with your parents? And what do I mean by that? I mean that there must be, over the time, some changes in the way you um, regard your parents. As you grow up, it is important to see them as friends, colleagues. Do something that you can share with your parents. Do something that you have in common with your parents. Like pick up a new hobby. Maybe do a small kind of work that you think your parents are capable to do with you. Give them some responsibility. It is okay. They might be a little tired from the many years of experience, etc., but it is important to give them some work that you think that will help them to be a little bit more productive, even if it adds a bit of chaos in the household. They will be happier, more cheerful, and energetic. It is also important from time to time to change the place that you are in. Maybe if you're lucky enough, you can change the city. Okay, but then again, it is important to notice that these kind of changes, these kind of diversities do take some time. Okay, now if you are changing the city and if you're taking your parents along, how beautiful, isn't it? Your parents will be able to enjoy sunshine from a new window. They will be able to eat new kind of food. They will be able to enjoy, new kind of art, new kind of carnivals, new roads. You might be able to make a little bit more money if you are choosing the right city. And you might also be able to do more things because, when we move to a new space, there is a kind of a pressure that we need to be more productive, be in the same uh, capability with the other people, and make our impact out there. So it is important. Another way to be more diverse with your parents is to encourage them to stop being so being expensive from time to time. Like of lately, I have almost stopped ordering food from outside or having food outside. Why? Because I understand that there is a huge expense related to it. But yes, of course, I do want to go out and eat outside, try the new eateries out there. But sometimes, for it might be for a very small phase of your life, it is important to let your parents understand that like it's okay to lead a very simple and minuscule life where you don't go out that much, where you don't do much things, where you don't enjoy life that much, just to stay at home, just to be calm and quiet and peaceful. It is important. Okay, it lets you be in that zone where you get to save money. It lets you be in that zone where you get to um, spend on other more important things, probably have a saving scheme, etc., etc. So, why is it important to be diverse at any cost? Because, first of all, it lets you interact with diverse people. Now, if you have been listening to the video, and as I tell you, I am also getting to be aware that in this way, by choosing options that were not so obvious for me, I got to be a lot more diverse in my opportunities. For example, I was bound to take up arts back in school, study sociology, literature, Bengali literature, many other kind of literature, and like many other uh, things in humanities and arts. But because I chose commerce, I got to know about journaling, ledgering, and many other commercial knowledge from a very young age. And as I grew up, I saw that there were some people who were struggling to understand simple and basic ideas of work, of business. But I could just tell them how things should be done in a better way. Why? Because I chose diverse options. Then again, while some of my friends would stick to just one stream of education in college and do other things like hobbies, extracurricular activities, etc. I chose other things. I chose to learn another language. I chose to learn Spanish and French, and that helped me with a more diverse career. Uh, then again, you know, as I uh, like as I think of what to do with my present time, I don't stick to one thing. I tell myself there are many things to do. Like I can add a bit more of distance in my daily walk routine. I can, like meditate a bit more. I can add even journaling. I can add sketching. I can do whatever. So being diverse lets us be more interesting, lets us be more helpful. Now, it is important to notice this is also a very beautiful and friendly way of telling ourselves that, like it's okay if we want to be empathetic. It's okay if we want to be out there for some friend. But when we have another skill, when we have more knowledge under our sleeves, we get to be more helpful in the terms of how life actually works. We get to be the part of the larger economy that the globe is a part of. We must make ourselves useful people. Take this as a very serious life advice. Okay? You just cannot sit inside your home day after day and think and worry about AI taking up your job or a more talented person take away your position in life. You just need to be more intelligent and be more diverse and spend little bit of time into those things. Do everything that you can do, that you have interest in every day, and that way you will gain mastery. Like there is a very old saying, jack of all trades, master of none. That is not, has never been, will never be, and should never be applicable in my life. I will never use a quote or a scene from a movie to tell me what to do. Okay, because I can be a polyglot. I can be multi-talented. If you look at people out there, people who are scientists are also great singers. People who are chefs, look at our mothers, look at our grandmothers. Okay, nice cooking. They are great at managing the household. They are great at managing finances. Great life advisors, great friends, great mothers, great neighbors. And actually they were doing more than us. Okay, so why is it that you cannot be a little bit more diverse? It's okay, you have a 9 to 5 job, go to the job, but take out time, wake up 1 hour early. Maybe sometimes you can wake up 2 hours early to just, you know, do another extra thing, do something more, be more, be extra. It is okay. So to sum it up, I would tell that it is okay if you are not in a very diverse zone. But if you achieve to be a diverse person, you will see that people are giving you more recognition. You have more spaces in the world to work. You have more people to be engaged with. You have more people to be happy about. You have more people uh, to be present in your life to help you. And apart from that, you have more places to visit. You probably will have more channels of earning money. You will probably have, there is this thing. Once I read this interview by Priyanka Chopra. She is a great person. And she said that I believe in exhausting myself to sleep than to being lazy. But of course, it is okay to be lazy, but it is also okay to be diverse. Now, there are some people who tell that, I am going to be ambitious. I'm an ambitious person. And they get into that very mundane track of doing just one thing and forgetting about life altogether. But see, today you can think that, I am an ambitious chef, and you are like this person that, like, I will cook, I will learn new things, and I will channel my talent to different platforms out there till I gain acclaim, fame, probably. Now, of course, money, career, whatnot. But if you continue to be diverse, you can be more. Okay? If at all you are ambitious, be ambitious and also be ambitious about being diverse. Okay? Like instead of telling that, I'm ambitious, nothing is going to stop me, I am this very productive person, etc., etc., do more things with your life. Okay, cook, be a great chef, but also be a great florist, be a great teacher, teach something to somebody for free, be a great uh, speaker, give lifestyle advices to people for free. It is doable, and it will gain you a huge respect among your people. You know, spend more time out there, do more things. Okay, and this way, see, sometimes I have seen that people they come and complain, I don't know what to do with my life. Now, when anybody asks this question, what to do with my life? Immediately it is as if there are these lights that fall on their head, you know, asking that what will you do with your life? Immediately, like, choose something, choose something, choose something. The answer to this should be that, I will do as many things with my life as I can. You can be a great speaker, you can be a great painter, etc., etc., singer, chef, whatnot. So instead of selecting that, the career that I want to be in, be in a space that will be fruitful, be that will help you be productive, earn money. Choose that discipline, choose that job, choose to be in that organization that you can find a space in. Then select different curricular activities, be within a realm of hobbies. Okay, it's okay to be imaginative, it's okay to lag behind, do these things. And then, you know As you go by, let's say you are putting some effort. Effort is the key over here. If as you're putting some effort, you will walk ahead in life and you will see that it is very important that you started all these things for yourself, for none other than yourself. And now you are more intelligent. Your applicability, your credits are huge. They are better than what they used to be now. And this, I would always say that now that you have the courage to be more diverse, be diverse in, like, let's say you have a 9 to 5 job or a stream of education that you're following. The next thing that you should be doing is something that is relevant now in this world. You might, learn something related to the AI. You might learn something related to a foreign language. You might learn something, uh, maybe you can learn a new skill. Maybe you can learn how to communicate. Public speaking, it is a very huge skill that we all need to learn. So, right after what you are doing now, select more relevant skills, more relevant activities. Immediately after, add at least three more things that you can do. It is kind of not okay if you cannot do. Try to push yourself a little further. It is important. Okay? But sometimes it is understandable that life does take a toll on us. Okay? Life does take a toll on us. It becomes very um, hectic. It becomes kind of sad and uh, irritating to see ourselves that, we are just hustling, we are working hard in this world, but there is nothing that is more rewarding than actually working hard. It is true. Okay. So once you have chosen to be diverse, don't go after, like just passing by, just knowing things. Go after, like, mastery. Go after doing things the proper way. If you're learning AI, learn it in a very good way. If you're learning a new language, learn it in a very good way. So that tomorrow you might even add it to your resume or your CV, and it might get you a new job. It might get you a new kind of money. It might be that helpful for your parents. It might be that helpful for yourself or even your society. Today, if you are someone who is keeping a few plans, having another skill to your resume and adding that skill to your daily life will help you get a new job. And just imagine, you will be able to look after your plant in a better way because, of course, you will be able to afford better fertilizers. You will be able to afford better pots for your plant. So it is not just about, being able to help the parents, the society, etc. As simple as that. As simple as that. And you got this. You have to do it. If not today, then never again. Do it. Go after it. It is okay. It is okay to be reclusive for a few years in your life. It is okay not to be able to be there at the festivity. It is okay not to be able to be out there with people. Absolutely right. So go after it. Don't hesitate. Don't be that guilty because you cannot be regretful. Being regretful is nothing but being shameful because you have been shameless before. Today, you are, if you like, this is how I tell myself that today, if I am shameless and I spend my time whiling away, tomorrow I might regret it and be shameful. So don't be either of the three. Do something. Okay, it's okay to be awake for few hours extra. Okay, all the best.